Welcome inside the war room alongside Sam Corcoran and Chris Shroyer. I'm Srikar Rajendran. Yeah, I'm gonna be real, man. I'm exhausted right now. I'm putting on a nice little facade for you guys, but whatever happened yesterday, like, was kind of just a blur for me. I'm gonna preface all this by saying that I did watch the fights. I did, do my due part. Made some money too. But UFC 318, Holloway versus Poirier 3. Let's break this thing down. First off, you could not have asked for a better retirement for the Diamond after that fight.
Well, I could have. I wanted to win.
Yeah, I mean, if you won, that
no. I actually think this was the ideal outcome because if I didn't mention this to them, but I was like, okay, if Poirier wins, BMF is essentially gone. Holloway is killed as a contender. Like he'd be done. Like this was the perfect outcome for this fight. Like Poirier had his moments. He dropped Max. Holloway, vintage Max performance, man. Like,
yep.
This is my guy. Like, I love watching Max Holloway fight.
So good, man.
But it went exactly how we expected in that it was one of the best fights of the year. Poirier got a great retirement ceremony, fellas. What are your thoughts on the main event and the card as a whole?
We'll talk about the card a little bit as a whole later, but the fact that was not fight of the night, I mean, come on, man. That was a little disappointing. The rest of the card, though, was it exceeded my expectations for sure, especially the prelims and the early prelims. So many finishes, so many good, close fights. I was locked in the entire night, it felt like. There wasn't a time where I was just like, oh, this fight is terrible. This fight sucks. All of the fights were really good. We saw a lot of underdogs win, which I liked. So definitely unpredictable. And I feel like the predictable fights were like they finished really strong. Like it was a fun night. It was a fun night for the UFC for a card that wasn't as star-studded before. Maybe it was like a 5 out of 10 going into it. I think, in my opinion, it ended about like an 8 out of 10.
Oh, definitely.
I still don't think that it appealed to the casual fan, though, because a lot of casual fans did tune in to the main card.
I completely disagree.
I'm gonna
I'll tell you right now why. I will tell you why I disagree. I went to a bar to watch the fight with a guy who does not listen to UFC. Does not watch UFC. And he had a great night from the sounds of it. He had a fun time watching it. So I'm just taking his words. So
my whole thing is, okay, how entertaining was it up until Dustin Max from the start of the main card? So I'm saying, every main card fight under Max. Holland and T-Rod was a great fight. Like, that was awesome.
Pitbull and
Ige was a good
not
fight.
that good. Ige Pitbull was not good, in my opinion. Like, I wasn't.
Oh, I completely disagree.
I don't think that was a really good fight.
I mean, dude, Pitbull almost finished him multiple times.
Yeah.
And I mean, I thought Zellhuber versus Johnson. Look, that was a vintage Michael Johnson performance. Michael Johnson, I'm sorry for,
but it wasn't like a fire fight to me. I don't know. I'll save all the. I'll reserve it for now. Just what I thought. Like, it was a good card, but I do think for the casual fan, like, other than Max and Dustin, which everyone was pretty much watching for, like, I don't think it offered a whole lot, like, especially when we look at like the future and title implications and all that stuff. But still, I do think it was a BMF card. Like, I'll give you that. Like, it was definitely a BMF-esque, type of thing where every fighter really came like they wanted 50K.
I mean, here, wait. This is what I'll just have to say about it. The first 6 fights of the night ended in finish.
Well, I was saying the main card. I didn't say anything about the prelims. The prelims were awesome.
I mean, look, I thought I really did think the main card was good. Michael Johnson knocked down Zellhuber. They were, that was more of a technical fight. I really did think Pitbull versus Ige was a very solid fight. But no one likes to watch.
My thing is, but I'll frame it this way: out of those 5 fights, Max Dustin aside, is anyone going to be talking about Pitbull and Ige in like a couple weeks? Is anyone going to be talking about it in like 1 week?
I mean, no, but I mean, I'll be thinking about it. So
well, you're a hardcore, like, ball, like you know.
I mean,
I would say for like a casual.
I understand that, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, look, the people be talking about Holland D-Rod. That was a great fight. That was insane.
Yeah, it was good. That was a good one. And we'll go into all these fights later, but you mentioned the prelims, a lot of finishes, starting with Carly Judice, who took on Nicole Cagliari. Judice, man, she has gotten really good. She's gotten really good since Contender Series. I was actually really impressed by that finish. Again, she's came so far. She came into the UFC off a loss. She kind of looked inexperienced, back then, but she looked totally different. Like crisp boxing, really, really good poise, really good job switching her stance. Like she looked levels above what you'd expect from a 5-3 fighter now. So you love to see that development. So I think she had a great performance. Keep an eye on Carly Judice for sure.
Yeah, and we have Sam who actually called the knockout. We had
I know. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, and I mean, it was trending towards decision, but still, like even in the beginning of the fight, she was busting her up. Like Cagliari was getting the beats. And
yeah,
I think maybe Judice kind of had more of a spirited performance because she was in Louisiana. She's from Louisiana. And I know we had our conversations about, like home octagon advantage, if that's a thing. But yeah, I mean, she was invigorated right from the start. Like she wanted that finish, and credit to Cagliari for staying in there for that long. She was busted up.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't really see too many KOs, TKOs on the women's side of MMA. But when you do see it, it's honestly awesome to see. It's like these girls are going out there to do the same thing that everyone else is doing. They just want to finish. But yeah, great performance for her, and 2 straight knockouts. That's pretty impressive. So
I know that's what I'm telling you. That's why I said the knockout, man. And I think obviously still a lot more to do. Only 5-2, so pretty young, but it's a good win for her. I think a lot of people were saying like it was a must win for her. I didn't necessarily think so with the lack of experience that is. It's pretty awesome that she's in the UFC and hasn't fought that much. Mm-hmm. So that says a lot to me. And I think, obviously, like it's the beginning of the card. There's still a lot more to do. But good win here. We'll see what's next for her. That should be exciting. I'm excited to see her keep fighting.
So Louisiana went 2 for 3 on the night. You got Carly Judice, Brennan Allen getting wins. Obviously, Dustin couldn't get the win over Max Holloway. But overall, a pretty good night for New Orleans. The crowd was definitely rocking throughout the whole night, especially during that main event. But it was also rocking when this man stepped into the octagon, Bruno Ferreira, as he faced Jackson McVeigh. Yeah, man, Bruno Ferreira done in one. Like, this is exactly what we expected from a guy at his level against someone like Jackson McVeigh, who, he was definitely game, but I mean, he's too inexperienced. Like, that's all it is. McVeigh tried to mix it up early, but honestly, shouldn't have grappled with Ferreira. Like, it's not a good idea.
But that is McVeigh's. That is his like strong suit, though.
Sure,
like,
that
actually is where he wanted to get the fight.
Yeah, but sadly, Bruno was just better on the ground. And props to McVeigh for surviving without serious damage. He's young. Mm-hmm. We'll see him again, but this was all Bruno Ferreira for sure.
Yeah. No, Bruno Ferreira is very close to a ranked opportunity now. Mm-hmm. I think he could be one away. I know we don't usually matchmake for prelims, but I will say with the card next week, the loser of the Shara Bullet fight, I forget who he's fighting again.
Marc-Andre Powerbar Barrios.
Marc-Andre Barrios. I think the loser of that fight would be a great matchup for Ferreira. Get him over the hump, and then after that, he's going to get a ranked opportunity. So an up-and-coming fighter, and he hits like a bullet, man. That fight was pretty fun to watch in that knockout.
And that definitely. And he's actually like really, I didn't really realize it. I mean, obviously you can look at the numbers, but he's kind of like severely undersized for middleweight. He's only 5'10", but he's
McVeigh definitely looked like the bigger fighter in the octagon.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was 6 inches taller, and a lot of middleweights are pretty big. And Bruno Ferreira, like he just doesn't care. I'm gonna walk through the fire and I'm gonna get this done. Knockout sub. And I was impressed how he got into full mount, and then it looked like he was looking for a triangle when he was on top, and then the arm presented itself, and he just said, "Screw it, I'm going for the arm bar," and he got it done. And you know what? It was a great performance. And if we're going to talk about arm bars, we're going to segue right into Jimmy Crute's arm bar on Marcin Prokhnio. Look, Sam.
Wait. One more choke before that one. There was one more choke.
There was another one before.
You're forgetting about Poirier's signature. Superman.
With
the ghillie.
Science
man. Quick work with the wrap and tap. Just pure domination.
Yeah. And we all called that too. We knew the ground game was
I was trying to find it, man. I was trying to find it on the books, but didn't have anything for Span by Gilly.
I don't know if that's offered anywhere.
Yeah, it's not. Pure domination. He read Breshke perfectly on the feet.
Yep.
Just cut through him on the ground like knife through butter, man. And he knew exactly when and where Breshke would try to escape. So really, really good awareness. Smooth finish. Span took 0 damage, man. So I think you want a quick turnaround for him. Let's get him back in there
for
as
sure.
soon as possible. You know, it'll probably be against another low-level heavyweight, but I mean that's kind of the cycle of Ryan Spann at this point. He wins or loses. Maybe give him a Tafa brother. Just see where he does there.
No, please do not mention the Tafa brothers on this podcast.
But good work from Ryan Spann though. Good finish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, look, I went 0 for 2 on my locks of the night, and I said before, I'll be the first to admit that I was wrong. I was wrong, but something I was right about is if you watch the last video, I said my prop of the night was Ryan Spann by submission at plus 260, and it didn't even get past the first round. Guillotine over. I believe that is what now his 14th win by submission in his career, his 13th career win by guillotine. So Ryan Spann is a certified silly gilly goose.
He only wins.
He only wins by gilly, man.
Yep.
The funniest thing. But we all called this one. I mean, Breshke's ground game is not great. Spann's ground game is great. You put the 2 and 2 together, and you're gonna get a submission. Easy money. That was an easy pick for me.
And now we'll get to Jimmy Crute. All right.
Yes.
We had a very lengthy conversation about this
fight.
One that we actually did not think would go that long, but Jimmy Crute with one of the nastiest arm bars I've seen in a minute. Honestly, he needed this one badly, and I think Marcin Prachnio is a guy who, you know, he can frustrate you just because he's awkward, and he had really good anti-grappling for what it's worth. But Crute stayed with it, man. He dragged Prachnio into deep water, got him to be a more reactive fighter, and once he locked in that armbar, it was done. Like, just very violent win for him. Great bounce back win. And let's see what's next for Jimmy Crute. It should be interesting, but a good win right here.
Must-win fight for Jimmy Crute. I mean, when you haven't won since 2020, I mean, you kind of have to win. And I doubted him. I got to apologize to Jimmy Crute. He dominated that fight. Prachnio, obviously, Chris and I picked him. Went for the underdog. I thought that was going to be a good underdog pick, and it ended up not being it. But it's funny. My underdog picks tonight did not hit besides one.
They saved all the underdogs for the main card.
Yeah, first of all, we'll get into that. I've bet on UFC a good amount, like a very good amount. I've had a 15 for 15 parlay before. I've had a lot of good wins that if you look at that, you'd be like, holy crap. I have never, ever seen anything like that. Like, look, 2 plus 500s winning on the same card, that's one thing. Within 4 fights on the main card, that actually, I don't think that's ever been done. I was trying to do research. I've never seen anything like that. And Dana White posted something on his story. He actually did like a little parlay calculator. He said, if you parlayed the first 4 fights on the main card, and I mean, his units are crazy. He put $1,000 on it. I'll make it like a normal unit.
Wait, so he actually put down a parlay on all the underdogs?
No, he didn't. He just did a calculator showing like if you bet on them. So for us, we'll use our unit as $10.
Yeah.
If you parlayed all 4 underdogs and you put $10 on it, you would have walked away with 3.7K.
Oh my God.
Like, that is crazy.
But like, crazy. I'm never gonna put that. Like, I'm never going to bet that way.
Exactly. But you know what? And I don't know. I was with some people last night at our good boy Terrence's graduation party. Shout out Terrence.
Shout out Team Money. Go watch the UFC Baku episode if you haven't. It's way past UFC Baku, but go watch it anyway.
Yes, it's a good episode. Definitely. But like, hey, Terrence has a lot of friends that are UFC fans, and we were chopping it up the whole night. And I was with people that genuinely bet on Michael Johnson, not because he had value, because they thought experience would get to Zellhuber. They bet on Pitbull. He bet on Daniel Rodriguez. I've actually, these guys know ball. They know ball. I was in shock. Yeah. But like, just from a betting standpoint, never ever seen that. Quick note on Prachnio. Yes, he got, I'm going to say, quote unquote, dominated. On the feet, he was winning 100%.
Yeah, it wasn't a combination.
Left and right. And like he almost did exactly what I said. He was like, he would get taken down, but he kind of, it's like you said, Srikar, the anti-grappling. Like, he's not a grappler, but like he was just, kind of rolling with the punches. Mm-hmm. And he got up from some of the takedowns. I think Jimmy Crute was 3 for 6 on takedowns. Yes, 2 submission attempts and had 2 minutes of control time. But when you look at the stats, like 21 for 36 strikes, Jimmy Crute landed 5 total punches. So like Progno, if it stood up, he was right where he wanted to be. But he was just very, passive on the ground. He was kind of just letting Crute take advantage, and he just threw his arm up. And you can't do that to Jimmy Crute. He's just going to take it. And he almost got out of it. He rolled with it 4 times, and he could have got out of it, but he didn't.
Yeah, and Jimmy Crute actually in his Octagon interview, he made the call out for Dustin Jacoby. And
that'd be a great fight.
I think that's absolutely the right fight to make.
I like it a lot, yes.
And winner of that, will get their ranked shot. Crute always kind of in that top 20 range in the division. And, you come back with a first-round finish. I think that could definitely be next. But speaking of first-round finishes, here's another one. Islam Dulatov, man. This guy is insane. Adam Fugit is not like a world beater by any means, but I mean the guy is tough. Chris was mentioning in the last episode, but he's very crafty. He can give people problems, and Dulatov didn't just knock him out. He completely figured him out before landing the kill shot.
Yep.
Like that is what you want to see from a top prospect. It didn't have to be, super flashy from the jump. Like the guy showed he can handle adversity and still find a way to get the finish. I mean, that is massive at this level. So all around, huge performance for Islam Dulatov. And I mean, the stock is only going up. I think this guy is going to be really good.
And shout out Islam for taking no damage so he could do his photo shoot.
Yeah, I know, the one thing I love about Islam Dulatov, I texted you guys yesterday. I kind of compare him to Arman Sarukian, not necessarily by talent, but just a guy who he's in it for the love of the game. Like he has all this money.
Yep.
I mean, he's a model. Arman's obviously not a model, but this guy does not need to fight in the UFC and just does for the love of the game. I mean, he has everything going for him. It's one of those things where one day he's going to be the UFC champion, potentially. I'm not saying he will be a champion, but if he ever becomes a champion, you ever see those memes where it's like, Josh Allen, a lot of people did with Josh Allen. It's like, oh, I'm Josh Allen. I'm the MVP. I'm the king of my city. I'm married to Haley Steinfeld. Man, F you. That's going to be Islam Dulatov one day. People are going to be
I don't know if I'm going to say that about Islam Dulatov, but
it's all a joke at the end of the day. But people are going to make those jokes. Oh, I'm Islam Dulatov. I'm a model. I look really handsome. I have a shit ton of money. Man, F you. I'm the UFC champion. Man,
I think that's what people will be saying about Shamil Gaziev. I think that would be a more, accurate name.
Shamil
Gaziev is more of like a model type. I think he's good looking guy. So I think
he is the ideal male body.
But hey, Islam Dulatov walking the runway and walking Fugit down, do what he had to do. That was a great fight. Moving on to another violent finish. And this actually started the prelims. Teba Gautier.
Oh, my God.
This was an absolute obliteration. This dude is another. If there's two guys that I came out with that are like, okay, these guys are crazy, it's Dulatov and Gautier. Like, you could just see Teba Gautier getting better every single fight. Like, he's managing his power so well now. Like, you could see how he was trying to pick his shots. And, like, as soon as he started swinging, I was like, okay, you better not blow the gas tank. But he was very patient with it. And obviously his finishing ability is like, Jesus Christ. Like it's crazy.
Literally.
But very methodical fight. The guy's ceiling is just insane. Like it's scary to see who he could be. And I can't wait to see what's next for him. This guy's really good.
100%. I mean, personally, I called it. I said, as soon as he lands hands on Valentin, it's clipped. Like literally clipped. Valentin took one punch, and you could already tell he wanted to get out of there. Like if I was in there and I took one punch, first of all, if I took a punch, I think a Teba Gautier could flick me and I'd be knocked out. Like this guy actually has unreal power. But you're right, Srikar. Like he was very calculated, and I like that because you compared him to you said he's the middleweight Francis Ngannou.
Yes,
and I think that's very smart. But I mean, at this point in his career and where Francis was at that point in his career, Teba Gautier is so much better. Like Francis was just like raw power. Like that's it. I'm just gonna go out and then just like knock someone out. Gauthier, yeah, it literally looked like he just looked like a sniper almost. It was kind of crazy. It was, and you know what? I'm very excited to see where he goes next because whoever
these are the takes you get to hear on the War Room. Is Ateba Gauthier, even better than Francis Ngannou was as a prospect? Because
honestly,
Francis
I
Ngannou
think
was.
So. I think
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
Especially when we look at his shot
Gauthier,
selection too. It's like
this
I don't
dude
know
is
if you heard. Yeah, go
this
Sam.
dude is only 23 and he's getting even better.
I
Like
know.
that says,
yeah, and he's 23.
Yeah.
Oh my
this
God.
guy's going to be a force to be reckoned with. This is one of those like, I feel like this is one of those remember the name moments. Like you're gonna remember where you were when you saw Teba Gauthier knock out Robert Valentin. Not saying that Robert Valentin. It's not saying like that's a big fight, but it's just like, hey, I watched the Teba Gauthier when he was a prospect. Like people are watching that. It's the same thing with Josh Fan. People knew Josh Fan was going to be great. I have a feeling Gauthier is the same way.
Here's the thing, though, and this is, I guess, my 2 cents for Dulatov and for Gauthier. It's actually helpful that we get to talk about them back to back. My one ask to the UFC matchmakers: do not fast track these guys. Like, build a crazy highlight reel with the both of them because you want to slow cook these guys. As soon as they are going to be guys that you can really promote going forward, and you don't want to throw them into like a super tough ranked opportunity like right away because neither of these guys are like, they're obviously the real deal, but they're not ready for that type of a fight yet. And I think
you need to have like some sort of star power, and it's not there yet. These are two very young guys.
Build the reel. Just build the reel with both. Build the reel.
And they're not the most active fighters compared to like a Josh Fan or something. Gauthier is a little more active than Dulatov, but still not the most active fighters. And Dulatov, that was his first fight outside of the Contender Series. So
yeah,
there's still a lot to do. Yeah,
I'm just gonna say one more thing about Gauthier, and we'll leave it at that because he's the man, and we'll be talking about him in the future. We could promise you that.
Yeah.
He has said honestly the hardest quote I've ever heard. The only way to survive against me is to run, and he didn't run fast.
Oh, that is dude. That like just I feel like that
actually is scary. That's so scary.
Brings a chill to my spine.
Literally, I'm not gonna lie. I think I have goosebumps just saying that. Like that, that is crazy. He's like the best. And honestly, he's showing it. The only way to survive is to run. And the thing is, you're in an octagon. There's nowhere to run. Nowhere to run.
There really is nowhere to run. But I guess there was a way to run for Francisco Prado. We can move on to that fight. The man was running. The man was running. Really weird fight against Nikolai Veretennikov, but definitely entertaining. It was back and forth. Veretennikov, close decision, but he took it. I personally don't think his fight IQ was really good at all in this fight. Like
who? But both of them.
Mainly Veretennikov. Like I think he put himself in horrible positions. He pretty much had the fight won after the first round, and then I don't know. He just stopped. Something just didn't click in those second and third rounds. Like I just don't think he was playing it properly. But honestly, I'm not gonna lie, dude. And I said this going into the fight. Prado should not be a welterweight. Like he's too small. He's way too small. Veretennikov was popping the jab so easily on him because he had such a big reach, but also because he's hulking on him. Like, but the problem is also like Prado. I feel like he's not going to make 155. You know what I mean? Like, I think if there was ever going to be like a 165 class, like Prado would fit in there. But I don't know. I would consider maybe moving down to lightweight, maybe just experimenting it because you're at a point in your career where you can try that.
Yeah.
Obviously,
he's literally 23.
Yeah, he's super young, so I would entertain that, personally. But otherwise, a win for Veretennikov in a pretty interesting fight.
I mean, Sam, you got it right. I
got the lone wolf pick.
He got this one. Yeah, Sam.
I got the lone wolf. Should I have got the lone wolf? I don't think so. I think Prado won this fight. I wouldn't call it a robbery.
Definitely not a robbery.
This was on the card, and I think this says a lot about how good I think this card was. On this card, I think this was the worst fight on this card. And I was kind of expecting that coming in. I didn't really see this as a very entertaining fight, and that's why I switched my pick between Prado and Veretennikov. I just thought Prado was the better fighter, but Veretennikov just like fit the mold better, and I feel like that's kind of how he won. It wasn't necessarily based on skill. I don't think Prado had a great fight either. And I mean, There's not much to say. I'm just happy I got the pick, and the bar I was at. People when I cheered for Veretennikov when he won, people were like, "Who?"
Yeah, they definitely bet on Prado.
Yeah, I was like,
They all bet on Prado.
They definitely bet on Prado.
They think I had a ton of money on Veretennikov, but
hey, you know what? Sometimes it's better to bet with your heart than financially because it means a lot more.
Yeah, that is actually true. Like every time I bring a pick on here, maybe except for one time where I bet on Paulo Costa yesterday, I pretty much stuck to like what I picked.
Oh, I always stick to my guns. Trust me, I did not do well last night.
And the only reason I bet Costa was because the underdogs were just winning. So I was like, okay, let's just take a stab at this. Like,
yeah, no, exactly. And that's
so
how you gotta do it.
It's like that, but mainly like if you do the work for it, it'll pay off. If you do the film stuff, if you do your breakdowns and you're confident in a pick,
oh yeah,
bet it, man. Like that's my biggest piece of betting advice. You know, like
I definitely agree.
Like that's the big thing.
I know. All right, I know you said you didn't want to call this a robbery. I'm stamping it with a robbery. That was a robbery. I don't know how.
I don't think it was a clear Prado though.
The second and third round were clearly Prado in my.
But the second round, I think the second round was very close.
No.
Third round clear Prado for sure. First round clear Nikolai Veretennikov. Second round could have went either way in my opinion.
All right, so this is why I just mentioned this off camera to them. But so I like the Real app, the Real Sports app. It's actually awesome. They have a UFC beta going, and they show you every single round statistics. They give you like they give you like what the judges would score it to, and that's like its own thing. I don't look at that because it's a beta, and no one's in the mind of the judges. So the second round on the Real app. In the beginning of the round, Veretennikov, it did look like he dropped Prado. He didn't drop him. He hit him in the back of the head, and he tripped. Prado then goes on to secure 1 of 3 takedowns. He had 2 minutes of control time in the round, and that one takedown, Veretennikov got suplexed by a guy that looked gassed out.
And then he got out of it.
Yes, and then no, he didn't. Actually, no, he didn't, because they were on the floor in the second round. He got suplexed by someone that should have been controlling the round, and the strikes were even, and he controlled 2 minutes of the round. So I personally, I think
that's not like clear though.
But
because what was the knockdown differential in that round?
0. That didn't count as a knockdown because he hit him. Look, I'm telling you, watch it again. I watched it when Sam and I were sitting here before. He overhand hit him. It hit him in the back of the head, and it tripped him, and it looked like a knockdown, but it wasn't a knockdown. It didn't count as a knockdown. It was 26-24 in strikes.
But the thing is, if you're watching that as a judge, because we didn't realize that until later, if you're watching that as a judge in real time, you're going to think it's a knockdown.
Like, yes and no. I don't know. Personally, I also have a bone to pick with Chris Lee and Sal D'Amato. They always be.
Oh my god, yeah, go off about those two
up.
because my god,
they are terrible sometimes. And you know what? Yeah, you go, Sam.
I was going to say, like, recently, Sal D'Amato has not been great.
Been terrible.
And there's I got to
Sal D'Amato's always
Reddit thread that I was looking at.
I don't like how, like, there has to be look, obviously the UFC can't technically these guys aren't employed by the UFC. They are employed by the athletic commission in each state. And like, why is it the same people every single time? Like, are there literally 10 judges in America that can judge UFC fights?
I know,
it actually makes me want to be a judge. And obviously it's
Sal D'Amato judged.
Yeah.
I cannot concur with that just because I would have scored it, for Veretennikov. If I saw that real time, I would think it's a knockdown. Like, I wouldn't see it as
okay.
And the knockdown would just give you the round.
I mean, look,
especially if they're even on strike.
Yes, but he got all right, but if he got knocked down and then controlled him for the pretty much half the round and suplexed him after he got knocked down, it's almost like, look, I was thinking about it. I'm trying to compare it to basketball. The bigger moments in a round. Let's look at like a basketball quarter. I know you guys are Warriors fans, so I'll put it like this. Let's say Curry pulls up from 30 foot 3 times in a row, which he does all the time. He's the man. He's the best shooter ever, best point guard ever. Let's say he pulls up from 30 foot 3 straight times. He does it to cut the lead, tie it, and then take the lead. That's the biggest moment in the quarter. But if someone is hitting layups and just wearing it down, and by the end of the quarter they're winning, I don't think that big moment really matters that much, especially when he got right back up and damn near got hit on the back of the head. He got hit in the back of the head.
I would agree, but they were even on strikes. So you need to lean to the big moment in that case.
Okay, but if anything, honestly, I think the suplex was a huge moment too. Bro got literally Brock Lesnar suplexed.
Yeah, but like I don't know if that was bigger than a knockdown.
He ended the round in top mount ground and pound. And Veretennikov couldn't even get up. But you know what? We'll move on from it. I was a little
I don't know.
Upset.
Well, I think the fact that we're debating it this much means it's not a robbery. Like I feel like you can see it both ways.
Twitter says otherwise.
Well, Twitter's in Twitter. Twitter, don't trust anything you see on Twitter. Like
no. I mean, but like when you see like if you look up Prado Veretennikov, if you see every single person saying robbery.
Well, that's because UFC is hive mind, bro. It's so hive mind to the point where everyone claims robbery. If their favorite fighter loses, they will call it a robbery. Some people were calling Holloway and Poirier a robbery. Do we really think that was a robbery? No.
That's insane.
But they'll call it a robbery anyway.
Nah, but that's so different.
People do it when they have money on the fighters. I'll tell you right now. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I wanted to scream robbery, I thought
it was a robbery.
I remember, the last point I'll make before we move on. I remember when like Pineda lost to Ankalaev. I didn't say it was a robbery, but deep down I wanted to say, how is this? How could Pineda lose? This is a robbery.
No, but that's different.
Yeah.
Like that's like
it's a bias thing.
Got his ass whooped.
It's a complete implicit bias thing. And honestly, once one robbery goes out on Twitter, everyone is going to follow it. Like everyone does it. I don't know how it works like psychologically, and we're not a psychological podcast, but my 2 cents. I just feel like you can't claim robbery for a fight that was that close. Like, and you could see scoring either way.
I agree, but in my, I don't know. I think,
but another close fight, one that was actually the fight of the night in Dana White's eyes, Brendan Allen versus Marvin Vettori.
It was a great fight.
Yeah, no, it was a very gritty fight.
It was. We'll put it this way: it was a great fight. I think there were 2 or 3 fights that were better than that fight.
I think there's 2. I think there's 2 fights better.
I would say 2 as well, but you could argue another one. We'll talk about it a little later.
But definitely a gritty, definitely a war. Both men definitely showcased their toughness, but I don't think either of them really showcased elite striking.
I agree.
Allen definitely fought well.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know my thoughts on Brendan Allen. I'm not the biggest fan, but the thing I'll say with him again, fight IQ was not great. He should have used his grappling a lot more. I don't know why he's trying to stand with Vettori. But that's kind of how Brendan Allen is. Like, that's just how he fights. But with Vettori, man, he has fallen pretty far. It's ever since he lost to Izzy, it's kind of just been downhill. He probably is going to be fighting into that unranked pool. Whoever that could be, I'm not really sure. But
interesting.
I don't think Vettori is going to be fighting up. Like, I think you got to fight a contender.
I don't think he's fighting up. We'll do a little early matchmaking because I actually think a good fight for him would be Paulo Costa.
Well, they've already fought
tonight for Marvin Vettori.
They've already fought.
Do it again.
I was actually thinking the opposite of Paulo Costa fighting Brendan Allen.
You know who's on the sidelines or not on the sidelines?
I think that would be a great fight.
I'd like to see Vettori versus the Iron Turtle.
Ooh,
if you're gonna fight in, because we talked about it. I think after Park 1, I was like, okay, the loser of Vettori and Allen should probably be fighting him because he deserves his shot up in the rankings.
He does.
I think that could be a pretty fun matchup, honestly, and it's a better matchup for Vettori too. So I mean, I think it could work.
And I actually I don't hate Brendan Allen and Paulo Costa as well, because I think for Brendan Allen right now, middleweight is almost all booked right now. Mm-hmm. So if you're Brendan Allen, you're probably waiting for like Dolidze to lose or Whitaker to lose or Cannonier to lose.
How about the loser of Whitaker and RDR?
I don't think RDR is a good
I think that's I think that's too high
for
Brendan Allen though. Like Costa's still, like he's still a solid competitor in middle.
Or better yet, how about this? The loser of Kaio and Imavov.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely
He does not.
not.
Brendan Allen.
I feel like Brendan Allen has to
no.
fight up. Like
He doesn't deserve that.
Not that high up.
I mean, also,
I think he deserves to fight. Either he okay. I will say.
I mean,
Brendan
he's
Allen,
also already fought Imavov and lost.
yes, that.
okay.
Too.
So basically, Kaio if he lost.
I still
don't
think that's too
Kyle-
high.
Keep in mind, Kaio is the 6th ranked contender.
I still.
Yeah, I still don't. Yeah, I
This
don't
is
know.
the number 11 ranked contender. Probably going to be number 10. You're probably
So
looking at
6
the
versus
loser
10 wouldn't
of-
make sense. And if Kaio loses, he probably dropped to like 7 or 8.
No, it would make sense, but like, I just don't think. I don't know. I don't think Brendan Allen deserves that. I
Kyle's
think like
also just won so much recently that I think you go to a guy who's maybe lost. It'll be somebody who's lost a little bit recently, like Robert Whitaker if he loses, Cannonier if he loses.
I mean, Costa.
Roman Dolidze if he
Costa
loses.
too.
I mean,
Wait, but y'all said Whitaker was too high.
if Whitaker loses, I did not say Whitaker was too high.
I said
said Imavov was too high.
I just think Costa's perfect because it'll show where it'll show where Brendan Allen's at. Obviously, we just saw where he's at. Sorry, don't take that at like face value. But it'll show really where Costa's at. It'll show where he is in the middleweight rankings. And I mean, he was on a crazy skid, and now he's finally beat someone that is still active in the UFC. I don't know. I just think it's like Costa's what, like 34, 35. I think that's a great get right fight for him. He put on a great performance, or maybe not great, but he put on a solid fight. He won convincingly. I'd like to see it. I would like to see it.
We're going to get into Paulo Costa's matchmaking in just a little bit, but last prelim here, Vinicius Oliveira versus Kyler Phillips.
Lock dog.
My lock of the night. Did good by me. Stays undefeated in the UFC. Nice decision win over Kyler Phillips. He basically just walked Phillips down. Very awkward, unorthodox kind of style. I do think that he does have a cardio drop that he needs to fix. And I do think on the ground he could stand to get a little bit better. So I love his personality. Like, I love Vinicius Oliveira. Like, I think he's a great dude. And he's still very, very dangerous at bantamweight, but definitely some things to clean up after this fight. It's not like I came in saying like this is a future top 10 guy. I still think he'll be ranked.
Yeah.
But
he could be a top 10 guy.
He still could be a top 10 guy. He just needs to capitalize on some things.
I was actually a little nervous in the beginning of that fight because Kyler Phillips came out guns blazing.
Yeah,
like,
I had the over 1.5.
Yeah. Oh, I know you were low key sweating a little bit.
I was so scared.
No. Yeah, because I mean, Kyler Phillips, like, he came out and made it evident, like, I'm gonna take the fight to you. Like, you're not gonna sit here and point fight me and whatever. And he really made Oliveira work for it. And Lock Dog got it done. Lock Dog did it right by Srikar's locks. But yeah, I mean, I definitely can see him in the top 10 eventually. Maybe not, obviously, the end of this year, beginning of next year, maybe the end of 2026. But this guy will be a top contender in bantamweight, right? Bantamweight. I'm blanking.
Bantamweight.
A little late.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was very impressed by him. Especially against someone as good as Kyler Phillips, who's been around the block. He's fought great contenders. And I think Oliveira, that was like a great trampoline into, fighting ranked competition and like legit ranked competition, not like bottom feeders of the rankings. So yeah, good for him, man. That was a good performance.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be, I think, you hit it spot on. Great performance against a guy who's also been up and coming recently, Kyler Phillips. I know he's lost 2 straight now. But for Vinicius Oliveira, it's going to be interesting to see who he fights next. This is a problem at both bantamweight and lightweight right now. Is everything is basically open on the table. Lightweight, actually, all the top 15 are unbooked right now, which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
Bantamweight, there's only one fight book, and that's next week in the top 15. Petr Yan and Marcus McGee. So we'll see what the UFC does with Vinicius Oliveira. But then it's like, I've seen Cheeto Vera called out as a potential option, but like, what happens to a guy like Rob Font or something like that, who I think that would be a perfect matchup for him. Henry Cejudo, I like that one as well. What happens to Ayman Zahabi though after that? So it's going to be a whole timeline thing with the bantamweight and lightweight divisions. So I don't necessarily know. I hope we get some answers soon, but it'll be interesting to see how the UFC values Vinicius Oliveira compared to some of these other fighters on the roster. So
Hey,
definitely
I'll make a specific call out. Give me Vinicius versus Chito Vera on the Brazil fight night. Boom, done.
Yeah,
that I don't hate that at all.
There you have
I
it.
don't either.
I don't hate that at all. I think Rob
Because
Font.
Cheeto's from Ecuador. Ecuador is not that far from
Yeah,
Brazil. You know,
exactly.
so I think that's.
I don't know if I don't know if they'll like. I don't know if they want like a South American versus South American on that. Maybe they do. Like I would think you would probably want.
No,
like,
if anything, if the fight night is in Brazil, they're gonna encourage it. Just like on a European card, you would want Europeans fighting each other.
I guess.
Yeah. I think that would be good. And we had the conversation about you don't want to put Brazilians against Brazilians. Like I feel like the UFC really stays away from like putting nationalities up against each other unless they really have to.
Unless
which
it's
I kind of
American.
like. Exactly, or it's American. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Or
I
it's
kind of like
Izzy,
that.
yeah. Or it's like Izzy and Whitaker.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Like the
Yeah.
the Australians, they don't.
Yeah, like in this case, like Ecuador versus Brazil is probably fine. Like I think they could let that fly for a Brazil fight night at least, and that could go on a main card. You know, that could potentially be a co-main if you really.
I think that's a
be.
great co-main to have actually.
Or honestly, make it a featured bout and like get like a fire co-main. Like you could do a lot with
co-main.
Like Cheeto and Vinicius. If you want to make that a co-main, you could. I don't know if they will.
I like that for a fight night.
Yeah,
and then the main could do like who would you do for the main on that? I know I'm looking a little bit ahead, but
it's I was gonna say Volkov and Almeida, but they're doing that in Abu Dhabi.
They're doing that in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, I was gonna say.
I feel like Brazil should be a pay-per-view.
You put freaking this is
you should do Charles and Max on pay-per-view in Brazil. Like
like Brazil should be a pay-per-view. Like there's specific spots that should be. And
like Pantoja Van would be fantastic.
That's what yes, that's what I'm saying. And
Pereira Ankalaev.
Mm-hmm.
Pereira hasn't fought in Brazil on the UFC roster, which is insane.
He hasn't.
Anyways, we're getting off topic here.
And we're way past the days of championship fights being put on fight nights. Obviously, they're going to capitalize on everything they can now. Which sure. I would too. But great performance from Lock Dog. He was a lock.
All right, main card time. So what we're going to do for this, if you're new to us, we basically recap main card, obviously, but we also matchmake for the winners. And in Poirier's case, we would usually do the winner and the loser of the main event, but Poirier retired. We're not going to matchmake him.
Yeah,
let's start with Michael Johnson.
We can matchmake him to the couch.
Yeah, sure. Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber. Razor close decision for Johnson. But 39 years old. Guy got it done. Definitely close fight though. Johnson had the power, he had the experience, and Zellhuber was definitely throwing in volume like we definitely expected him to, but a lot of kicks again to the arm, didn't really do much. Johnson now on a 3-fight win streak, might sneak into that top 15.
No, absolutely not. No, there's no way he's sneaking into the top 15. No, Srikar,
oh my God.
I vehemently disagree with that. And that's
if he wins his next fight, he is going to be ranked. Or at least he's going to get the ranked shot.
Absolutely not.
No,
he's in the right direction to be ranked. No. Sorry.
I'm a Srikar.
I need a rant here real quick. That is an absurd take, Srikar. That is an absurd take. I can't tell if you're trolling with that.
I'm not trolling either. I'm not trolling you. The guy is 40 and he could be ranked at lightweight, bro. I completely
disagree with that. I think with Michael Johnson, let me look at his record again. I mean, he's on a 3-fight win streak. But 24-19, are you serious? Is that a ranked fighter right now?
But like, put aside the record. He just beat a great.
He beat Daniel Zellhuber,
who just lost a crazy close decision to Ribovics at the Sphere. Like, honestly, I don't even know if you want to know who I'm gonna match him up with, but
I got God.
Let me hear you
go first. You guys can go first. I will say who I match him up against is not going to be a ranked guy, but I think it's the next step there. So with that, I'll let you.
My whole thing with Michael Johnson is the guys that he's fought besides Zellhuber. The guys that he's fought are just like who? Josh Emmett. I mean Josh Emmett, I guess, but just like.
But also, he's been around for a long time.
He has been around for a long time. I will give him that.
He's everyone's favorite fighter. Low key, he was doing the whole Ilya shtick before Ilya was doing it.
I think if you want to consider, I would say if you want to consider Michael Johnson for rankings, he needs to fight 2 more people unranked and win.
Nah, honestly, he's if he has like a crazy next win against someone that like realistically he shouldn't beat,
that could happen too. Let me give you my matchmaking for him because I think it's very realistic. It's outside of the rankings. It's somebody who I think would boost him up. It is. I had it pulled up and now I don't. That's awkward. Matt Frivola. Excuse me.
Okay.
Steamroller from Vola.
Yeah. So I think it should be someone who needs to fight down a little bit. And Frivola's also lost to some of the best of the best. He's lost to Arman Sarukian. He's lost to Benoit Saint Denis. He's lost to some pretty notable people. And so he's fought some of like the best competition and lost. But anytime he hasn't, he's won. I feel like that's kind of where Michael Johnson is at right now. And I think the winner of that can prove that they can move on up into the rankings. Like you win this fight. Okay. Now now you're showing like, this is kind of like the gatekeeper fight for them. A little bit of a gatekeeper fight where whoever wins this fight gets to move past the gate and get one of those guys who's more in the top of that stacked lightweight division. And 2 very experienced fighters. Frivola a little less experienced than Michael Johnson. I think it's a fantastic fight. And I think that would be the perfect matchmaking for him.
Chris, you want to go?
I can see it. Yeah, sure. I mean, I was like thinking about this and I don't want it to happen because Srikar and I already had this conversation after when was this conversation? I'm not sure. It was in one of our videos. Sorry, it's a little late and I'm tired. Look, Michael Johnson just beat a rangy kickboxer, very rangy kickboxer. If you don't want to put him in the rankings right now, I would love to see him versus Hoofy. I would love to see that.
I did not think you were gonna go in that direction.
No, it's not gonna happen because I want Hoofy to fight Chandler. I want Hoofy to fight Chandler. I think that's a great fight to make.
Way up. That's a thing.
But okay, so someone else I was thinking about is Manuel Torres, El Loco. I think that would be a good fight. And I don't think.
Man, so you guys are really hyping up this Michael Johnson.
Dude, Michael Johnson.
I have a different matchup than both of y'all, and it's good that we actually, if we don't have parity we're gonna have parity in the match.
We need, I know. I'm just like, I think he needs to fight someone who has to fight down. It shouldn't be someone that needs to fight up.
But Zellhuber's what 15-3 now. He was 15-2. He was
15-2.
It's an impressive win. Don't get me wrong, but Zellhuber was not like.
And he's not that far removed from like he was on a 4-fight like performance of the night streak. Like he was a legit prospect. Like this is a big win for Michael Johnson.
I think it's actually 100%. And Michael Johnson, if you ever see this, I hope you do. I am sorry. I counted you out fully.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm also very sorry to Michael Johnson.
You proved me wrong. And you know what? Srikar said best. Yeah, you beat other people's favorite fighters. Like, that's awesome to be able to say that. Like, you are the menace. You live up to that nickname. Good for you, man. Sure. That was a great fight. Great performance.
Mm-hmm. I think I like where you guys are going with Frivola and Torres. What's interesting about this is he actually wants to get a BMF title shot.
Oh my God.
He's not gonna get it. 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 He's not gonna get a BMF title shot. I'm not going there.
A BMF
not going there.
Title shot.
But I do think
versus Max Holloway would be the worst matchmaking. Imagine seeing that.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Knowing Michael Johnson, he's going to beat Max Holloway, bro.
I was gonna say, knowing Michael Johnson, he would take that to like
a
48-47 decision.
Oh my God.
But the guy I had in mind who could at least get him closer to his aspirations if he wants to be the BMF, Beast Boy Mike Davis. I think that would be a crazy matchup for both of them.
Thinking the same thing. I like that a lot.
And obviously, I know, Sam, you don't want like a guy who's fighting up, fighting a guy who's fighting up.
But those two are a lot closer to each other.
Yeah, they're close in the rankings in terms of like who could get closer to that ranked opportunity. And it'll be
like Emmanuel Torres. Yeah, I think like those two are very close to each other. I think you got to fight someone who needs either is higher than him and needs to fight down. That's going to boost him a lot. Or somebody who's like close-ish to him, and that would work. How many fights does Michael Johnson have on his UFC contract left?
I don't even know if it matters because if he wants to fight, they're just gonna renew it.
Yeah, they'll just renew it. Yeah,
but yeah, I actually don't know. I mean, look, it's almost like Srikar, what you said about like a little bit back to the Hoofy thing. I want to see Hoofy fight Chandler, and that's a given. I'm not giving up on that. I think that would be awesome. It's like a Teba Gautier and Dulatov, like kind of build him a highlight reel. So if you're gonna give Hoofy that, like that's gonna be either a highlight reel or if he wins convincingly, that's a recognizable name on his resume. So, but no, I honestly like the Manuel Torres fight, but that is a little high, but we'll see. El Loco, I love El Loco. Crazy.
Well, the resounding sentiment from the three of us after watching that Michael Johnson fight is we cannot explain Michael Johnson. We can't do it. We will try our best, but the guy comes in and surprises us all the time. So Michael Johnson, big shout out. Moving up the card, Dan Ige versus Patricio Pitbull. Okay, so I only caught like bits and pieces of this fight. I didn't really catch the whole thing, but I ended up looking at stats and I saw some clips circulating around too. So take all this with a grain of salt. You know, I'm gonna admit it to you when I don't fully watch a fight.
There you
go. But big win for Pitbull. From what I was seeing, not too much action though. I feel like Pitbull kind of played it the same as the Yair fight. But this guy, obviously, we know what he's done outside the UFC. He definitely landed the bigger shots on Ige, but overall, I'm not like insanely impressed. I don't know. You guys can probably give like a little bit more context for that, but in terms of what's next for him, you have your UFC win, which you definitely needed.
You needed that.
And with the time he's got left, he's not going to be fighting, these prospects. Patricio Pitbull is not one of those guys. So Aljamain Sterling and Brian Ortega are fighting in China.
Yeah,
whoever loses that, I think, is a good matchup for Pitbull because it's going to sell. At least, you're going to get a big name matchup. Pitbull will probably agree because it'll, send him up the rankings. And whoever loses between Sterling and Ortega might have to take this fight because, it'll probably be the best opportunity available to them, if they know what they're in for. So, yeah, I guess that's my thoughts on Ige and Pitbull, but let me get Pitbull versus that Sterling Ortega loser. I think that makes the most sense here.
So I'll get to matchmaking a little bit. I love that pick. I think this fight, first of all, this fight should have been 30-27 Pitbull. I don't know why it was all 29-28, which was a little surprised by that. I thought Pitbull dominated this entire fight. There was a moment where Dan Ige looked like he might be able to come back, but Pitbull recovered well. I said before, I picked Ige. I was the least confident in that pick. And Pitbull obviously won the fight. So good for Pitbull. He needed that win badly. Especially after the Yair fight where everyone was just like, oh, what are we doing here? Even though he's good, he just did not look like himself. I love the Sterling Ortega pick. I do think, however, so I'll talk about that actually. It's the perfect guys. Those guys are going to need to fight down. And Pitbull's probably going to be close to the top 10. That's a chance to get in the top 10. If you want to make a last minute push, I think that's perfect. I will say though, obviously there's some uncertainty with Aaron Pico right now. That was his call out. I really like that fight. If he fights, it's going to depend if and when he fights Evloev. If that fight's still happening, then wait for that to happen. And if Pico loses, give him Pitbull. If Pico wins, obviously, then you're going to give him a title shot because he just beat the number one contender. You can leapfrog him to that. Or if they don't want Evloev and Pico anymore, then just give Pico to Pitbull right away. I think that would be great. I think that would be
actually kind of crazy to think about. If Pico beats Mogsar, he is going to be fighting for a title.
Yeah, that's a title eliminator, dude. And so
we could see Volk versus Pico.
The one thing, which is crazy, the one thing that I found really interesting from last night, and this was right before or after this Pitbull fight, they showed the main card for 319. Co-main event is TBD versus TBD, and we're less than a month out. So there's something going on behind the scenes. I think it could be this Evloev Pico fight if it's still happening.
I hope so.
That is. I hope it is too. I mean, there's some other fights I actually would. I mean, personally, I think Evloev deserves the title shot right now.
I was gonna say I've been seeing a little bit of traction of if that Pico fight doesn't happen, they're just gonna give him Volk.
I don't
Yeah.
know though, because Movsar pulled out of the fight with an injury, and they're not likely to reward him.
And Movsar is also, this is a crazy stat. I believe Movsar has been scheduled. I don't know how many times he's been scheduled, but 11 of his scheduled fights have never happened in the UFC.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably why the UFC is reluctant to give him a title shot, actually.
That is true.
It's kind of like Khamzat Chimaev. These are two guys that pull out a lot. I think they wanted to prove it against Aaron Pico, and then the winner of that gets a title shot. But pulling out, luckily you're not. This isn't like an Arman Sarukian case where you're pulling out last minute. Obviously, he suffered a setback. Seems very minor where you could put it at 319 for a co-main, which they need, by the way. And I'm glad they have a spot for the co-main on there. Because let's be real, Jared Cannonier is not co-main material anymore, sadly. But
what's crazy, it's not even him in the featured bout. I think they put Neil
it's Prates and Jeff Neal, which that's also not co-main material. But yeah, give me Patricio Pitbull versus Aaron Pico. If the Evloev fight, either if he loses the Evloev fight or if it doesn't work out, and if it does work out for whatever reason, Aljamain Sterling versus Brian Ortega, the loser of that fights Patricio Pitbull.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that. Yeah, and one fight that I would really want to see though, like really bad, and Pitbull, like he's done not fighting contenders, but look, this guy is getting older, one of the best featherweights to ever do it in MMA. And I mean, like, look, I thought this fight was severely different than the Yair fight. This looked like Pitbull, in my opinion.
Yes,
he came
I
out
completely agree with that.
And he was like, all right, I'm going to show you guys. Screw this recency bias that I, honestly had. And he really took it to Ige, and I kind of agree, Sam. I think that should have been a 30-27. I mean, every time you looked at, what was happening in the cage, whether Ige was putting it on him, Pitbull was just coming right back and doing it tenfold, right back to Dan Ige. So I very impressive performance, and he's not going to fight down. I would love him. I would like to see him fight Steve Garcia though, but I know that's not going to happen. I think that'd be a great fight. Yeah. But so if Lerone Murphy and Arnold Allen don't end up fighting, I kind of want to see Pitbull versus Lerone.
I don't agree with that. I think Lerone Murphy.
I think it's interesting. I don't think it'll be very entertaining though.
I agree. I don't like that at all.
I mean, the thing is, it's not like Pitbull is fighting up his ranking. He just doesn't have the ranking to say he's fighting up.
No, Chris, I totally hear you. Like, I feel like that would be like stylistically like an interesting fight, and I think it would make sense with the timing. But I don't know if that's in the UFC's best interest because Pitbull is only gonna have big names, from now on. You know what I mean? Like, you got to put Pitbull in like bigger fights.
But then, I'm looking at Tapology right now. Like, are you gonna put him against the loser of Diego Lopez versus Jean Silva?
You could put him against it's Brazil versus Brazil. That one.
Yeah, and I mean, he can't really fight Yair again because Yair just beat him, and we saw that. And you know what? I think the loser of Ortega and Sterling makes sense. You said that, right, Srikar? That was your pick. I think that does make sense. But
Condoms also work out for that.
It will work out for that. But I mean, he's still a big name. Like, and the thing is, like,
exactly. That's why I think at like 38 years old or 40 years old, however old he is, you got to put him against other big names. Like, you don't want to waste his time by having him fight prospects because he's probably going to lose to the prospects. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the UFC definitely has internal thoughts. But
I mean, like, it seems like he's really hell bent on fighting Aaron Pico for whatever reason. He really wants to fight him.
I mean, they're both they're both Bellator champions. I think that's kind of why he wants it badly.
100%. I mean, but if I was
that's going to be very hard for the UFC to promote, though. They have to promote Bellator if they do that.
I have
and you know how much Dana White hates that.
He doesn't want to do that.
He hates that. What were we going to say?
I have a hot take with that, though.
Sure.
If Pitbull fights Pico and wins, he drops the gloves.
If Pitbull fights Pico?
Nah, Pitbull wants to win the title.
He wants the title run.
You think? I don't see a way he's gonna.
That's why I'm saying, like, if he fights Lerone, he's not gonna fight Arnold Allen. Could fight Arnold Allen.
No,
but like if he fights up in the ranking, like up and severely up, like this guy, let me check his age. He's been around for a minute, an absolute minute. I think that he does. I think he does deserve to fight up, like just because he doesn't have the ranking, and like we're all having recency bias on that Yair fight. Like I don't know what happened. The lights were too bright or something, but clearly he figured it out against Ige because he looked completely different. How old? All right, Pitbull is.
I don't know.
He's 38.
I feel like
you can't fast track a veteran, but
like that's what I'm saying. Like it's so hard to fast track Pitbull. Like you might be in the position where you have to, but
yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. But yeah, I'll just stick with your pick, Srikar, of loser of Sterling versus Ortega.
I like it. I like it. Moving right along, featured bout Kevin Holland versus Daniel D. Rod Rodriguez.
Yeah.
I did not expect this.
Very, very back and forth fight. Very back and forth. Both guys were close to finishing each other on multiple occasions. Especially, oh my god, that third round was crazy.
That was insane. And that's the fight I think should have been fight of the night. We were talking about it earlier. I think this was the fight that should have been fight of the night.
I think there can be multiple fights of the night, but Daniel
I agree too.
Want to do it.
Yeah, they did it for UFC 236 actually with Izzy and Gastelum and then Holloway and Poirier. Interestingly enough, that we're talking about it with the trilogy here. But D-Rod ultimately wins the decision, moves into the top 15. Holland's future at welterweight. We were hyping it up crazy, and now kind of in question. This was a pretty grueling fight.
I wouldn't call it in question, Srikar. I mean, you have to give some respect to Daniel Rodriguez, who's on a 3-fight win streak. And I think his next fight should be Gilbert Burns. I think he's going to make that 4 against Gilbert Burns. I think that's the best fight for him. Two guys that kind of like past their prime, but have a chance of like pushing up a little bit with a win. And if that's an interesting fight. I think it makes the most sense. Also, just looking at the welterweight division right now, like I don't know. I wanted, first of all, I wanted Kevin Holland and Colby Covington so badly.
Yeah, if there's one fight that Sam has always wanted, it's Holland and Colby.
That was going to be pure entertainment. But I still think, and I talk about this all the time, I still think the top 8 of the welterweight division, plus Jack Della Maddalena, is there's a big line between the top 8 and the rest of it. The top 8 should be fighting each other. Then you have Colby Covington. I think a better fight for that is the winner of this Prates Neal fight. Someone who's close to breaking in that shell, and then we'll move into the top 8 after that. And Colby Covington's not an active fighter, so that timeline kind of works out well. Gilbert Burns is next. That's the only chance Daniel Rodriguez has to fight up, and I actually really like it. I know I matchmake Bonfim with Gilbert Burns last week, which that was one I didn't like. And I think if you're Bonfim, I personally, I'll make an early pick for 316. We're well past
319. Yeah,
319. I think Carlos Prates beats Jeff Neal, and I think you get Gabriel Bonfim versus Jeff Neal. So I think at the end of the day, it's all going to work out.
You're reading my mind right now. It's crazy.
Perfect.
Wow. Chris, do you want to go? I had D-Rod.
Dude, I have a. Wait, you know what? Actually, what were you going to say? Because I low-key have a wild take.
Yeah, you look a little confused, Srikar. I'm kind of curious.
I don't think D-Rod should be fighting into the top 10 yet. Like I don't think so. Like you just found your way back to a ranking. Honestly, I was thinking you still got to fight a guy that's on the cusp of a ranking. And in my mind,
3-fight win streak though.
If you say the same guy, I was like low-key thinking about.
Say it on 3. Say it on 3. I'll count. You say it on 3. You want to do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Jake
Brian
Matthews.
Battle.
So I actually think Jake Matthews would be really good for Kevin Holland to fight.
Interesting. I want to do Matthews versus D-Rod on the Perth card. Like I think it's two veterans.
If you want an active fighter, put Kevin Holland on the Perth card. He'll fight that. I don't know if D-Rod's as active. That's the thing.
I wouldn't be mad at Holland and Matthews. I think that's a good matchup.
And Holland needs to fight. Holland needs to fight down. Matthews needs to fight up. I think D-Rod is deserving of fighting up.
I was going back and forth between Brian Battle, and Randy Brown, Rude Boy.
So this is no matter
I think
if
Randy
Brian
Brown
Battle
versus
beats
D-Rod.
or loses to Ruziboev, or is it like contingent on Brian Battle beating Nursultan? Because he's a middleweight.
Yeah, you're right.
He can't make 170 anymore.
You're right. You know what? I didn't think about that. Give him Randy Brown. I think that would be a great fight. We'll go
Rude
with
boy.
that. Yeah, I think that would be a good fight. And then, my wild take is I was like, yo, low-key, throw him to Buckley.
No. Buckley should be fight. Man.
Well, it is kind of the same logic as I use with Bonfim in that, like, there's no one that I want to match him up against, like, in that, like, specific range. Past
Like Kevin, different fighters, different weight class. Kevin Holland knocked out Buckley, and D-Rod put the beats on Kevin Holland. Different weight class, though, and obviously,
I wouldn't say he put the
very
beats
long
on Kevin
ago.
Holland, though. Like, I think my one takeaway from the fight,
he put the beats on Kevin Holland.
He was good. There was a chance though when Kevin Holland had I texted you guys. There was a moment, I think it was round 2 or 3, where Kevin Holland had a chance to finish D-Rod, and he just didn't do anything with it. Like he had it right there, and he was kind of stalling time a little bit. I felt like
my one thing that I was gonna go off of is, when do you ever see Kevin Holland shooting takedowns? He did not like that D-Rod stand up. That was tagging him. And also,
he should have been he should have been implementing the grappling. Like, I don't think that's
100%, but he did it because of the stand up that D-Rod was giving him. And in D-Rod's post-fight interview, I don't know if it was at the press conference or he did an interview. I'm pretty sure it was just an interview. He said, as soon as I saw him starting to shoot takedowns, I knew that I was doing something that he did not like. So that made me even more confident in my stand-up, and it showed. And Kevin Holland actually went to the hospital because of exhaustion.
Yeah,
that was
after this fight.
Yes, he went to the hospital because of exhaustion on a stretcher.
Wow.
Yeah, he was gassed after this.
I'm not gonna lie, D-Rod.
Bro, they should have gave this fight of the night.
That's what I'm saying.
Are you kidding me?
Have
you ever seen a guy collapse from exhaustion and go in a stretcher to come on.
D-Rod had 2. Sorry, you go.
Kevin Holland does.
What did you say?
Sorry, Kevin Holland deserved a bonus for that.
I completely agree.
I think he should walk out 50K. If you literally put it all out there to the point where you're literally going to a hospital for exhaustion.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty telling. That's a fight.
D-Rod had 2. He had 2 knockdowns. Kevin Holland had 1. They both landed 111 total strikes. 82 significant for Holland. 77 for D-Rod. D-Rod had 3.5 minutes of control time. Kevin had 2, and Kevin shot 4 takedowns. I don't remember the last time I've seen Kevin Holland shoot 4 takedowns, but
never happens.
Props to D-Rod for making him uncomfortable to the point of Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland. He just goes out there. Oh, I want to knock you out. I'll knock you down, get you into a submission. I've never seen him actually wrestle. He hates wrestling.
Yeah, different ways.
The Thiago Santos fight, that was so funny, dude. This stuff sucks.
Yeah.
We never see him actively wrestle. But also that goes to show how much Kevin Holland's grown over time. The guy has been through some wars. He's had so much experience. He's saying that stuff to Santos however many fights into his career. And now he's backed up all that experience. So very, very interesting. He was calling out to Khabib. He's like, Khabib, what do I do, bro?
What do I do, brother? Help me smash, brother. Smash, brother. That's what he was saying.
We love Kevin Holland in the war room, but great win for D-Rod. Very solid performance all around, and definitely a war. Co-main event: Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov.
Costa is back, boys.
Yeah,
I owe him an apology because I thought he was never going to be back.
This was 2019 Costa.
Yeah,
definitely 2019 Costa. Man, the stuff he was doing to the body was crazy. All the body kicks. Roman was literally like I would keel over in a spot
Those
like
are
that.
Thunderous, thunderous kicks.
Oh yeah.
You could hear it through the broadcast. Just also looked way more disciplined. I think this is what Costa was trying to do against Sean Strickland, but he wasn't throwing enough to actually counter anything. Without the threat of Sean walking him down, he looked so much more comfortable. And this version of Costa is very dangerous. He is right back in the middleweight mix. Kopylov definitely showed like some flashes throughout the fight, but Costa just pressured him, man. Like there are no answers for the pressure of Costa. So fellas, I leave the floor up to you. What's next for Paulo Costa? Because you got to look at him fighting up now.
Yeah, well, I said it's interesting. So I started with saying Marvin Vettori earlier on, and the more I think of it, the more Brendan Allen just makes more sense. Because I actually think Costa. Yeah, I think Costa is actually going to be ranked ahead of Marvin Vettori when it's all said and done.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I think I'm still disrespecting Costa a little bit after the fact. So I'm gonna go Brendan Allen. I think that's good. I've seen people though say he should fight the loser of Imavov and Kaio, which I think is like absurd. People are like,
no. Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it either. But people think he's really back. But it's Roman Kopylov, who's the number 14 fighter. That doesn't prove. It does prove a lot to me that Costa dominated this fight. It doesn't necessarily prove to me that he's fully back into his like 2019 prime Paulo Costa form when he's getting a title shot against Israel Adesanya.
Right.
But Paulo Costa looked fantastic. I think Brendan Allen's a really good fight for him. Brendan Allen's only won one of his last 3 fights, and obviously that was there. So the timelines match up. Let's do it. As for Roman Kopylov, this is something I brought up on an earlier podcast. Give Roman Kopylov RoboCop. That would be electric. And I think
that would be a good fight.
I think RoboCop wins that fight, but I think that's like the one person. It's funny. That's like the one person in the rankings who does not need to fight too far down, but needs to fight out of the rankings. So you got to give him someone close. A person like Marvin Vettori will probably fight out of the rankings, but someone like further down, So I like Kopylov and RoboCop, cop versus cop. You can put it that way. Good cop, good cop, bad cop. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And then Paulo Costa and Brendan Allen. Let's do it. I like that a lot. Maybe you could put that as the co-main for the Rio card. I don't know how active they want to be because it's been a minute for both of them, or more been a minute for Costa before he took this fight. But
obviously I said it before. I think Brendan Allen, that'd be perfect. And we'll really be able to see where Costa's at. Like if he does very well against Brendan Allen, then ship him up to the top. But he just seems really obsessed with Khamzat right now for whatever reason.
It's because Khamzat's been like talking to his wife. Like it's personal.
Your wife is in the DMs.
It's personal, and it's not going to happen. Let's be real.
Yeah, I know,
it's just funny though.
He said in his interview he will be ringside for 319. Because he's stalking this guy down.
I get you'll be ringside, but no.
Oh no, not for that reason. He's so invested in the thought of Khamzat that like he's gonna go there just to watch Khamzat.
So
I don't know.
Do you have Costa versus Khamzat?
No. Costa's still gonna fight Brendan Allen. Or I was thinking maybe if you really want to put him up, I could see like the loser of like Whitaker RDR.
Okay.
But I just think Brendan Allen's a good test right now.
I'll go in a different direction than Brendan Allen because I don't want all three of us to agree with this. I'm sorry. That sounded very mean.
Oh my God.
I just wanted to go in a different direction.
You hurt my feelings. You don't like my takes, bro.
Yeah.
My whole thing with Costa fighting up like this is he has not won a fight in like nearly like 3 years. Yeah. So it's hard for me to justify like sending him like really high up the rankings, but I want to see him versus either Cannonier or MVP. I think this would be whoever loses. I think that would be a banger.
Loser of
Cannonier or Costa MVP.
Like, sorry. The loser of Cannonier MVP.
Yeah,
I think Cannonier is great. I don't think MVP is where Costa should be fighting. If he
loses. Honestly, I want to see Costa versus MVP. Okay, here's the thing: Cannonier and Costa would be a slugfest. Like oh my God, they would just swing.
Someone would. That could be like a fight night main event, in my opinion.
However, if we get Costa versus MVP, if you haven't watched this fight, please go watch this fight. And I'm not saying to you guys, just anyone out there, go watch Paulo Costa versus Luke Rockhold. I think we would see that fight again if we got Costa versus MVP. Like, this would be such an interesting stylistic clash, bro. Like, this would be pretty crazy. And it's one of those fights that you may not realize how much of a banger it is like right now, but you could throw Costa and MVP on the main card of a pay-per-view, bro.
Oh, like, yeah. I'm one of MVP's biggest fans. I actually think he's
like, it would be a banger.
Like, he is insane. I actually just saw the video of him before. I was scrolling through Instagram earlier today, and dude, just like, he's so authentic in the octagon. Like, he literally, he was taking a selfie while he was elbowing some dude in the face. Like, he was faking like he was taking a selfie, and Dan Margiotta took a point from him. I was like, that's crazy. And then he knocked the guy out anyway. Like, I like that though, Srikar. I like that.
Okay, word. So we have different picks in the matchmaking for every single fight thus far. It's what you get when you come to this podcast. But the main event, honestly, I feel like it's pretty clear cut, and I'm not expecting any of us to disagree.
No, actually, yeah. Can I start this one? Can I? Because I think my pick is different than yours.
Well, first off, I just want to talk about the fight.
Yeah.
Back and forth fight again. Kind of the theme of the night. A lot of back and forth fights. Both guys had their moments. I mean, Holloway dropped Dustin dropped Max, and in the end, man, best is still blessed. This was vintage Max Holloway, man. This like rhythm boxing at its finest. Very, very clinical. Put a pace on Dustin that he couldn't match. The volume, oh my goodness. Like, Poirier obviously didn't get the fairy tale ending, but you can walk away with your head hanging high after that one. It was a very competitive fight. Retirement ceremony. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable. I've never seen a retirement ceremony like that in the UFC.
Yeah, they went all out. That's probably one of the greatest retirements in UFC history. Like, it literally made me think, like, wow, they did all this for Dustin, and Stipe got nothing.
Nothing.
Like, Stipe got absolutely nothing.
Yeah, but even like Daniel Cormier got nothing.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there, though. We're here to talk about Dustin, and phenomenal way to go out. But Max looks really good at 155, and I think he is still a big threat in this division. Sam, go ahead and give us your pick on who we should fight next.
So we are recording this on July 20th. I think in like a few weeks this pick will change, but as of now, July 20th, excuse me. No one in the top 15 of the lightweight division is booked right now. So there's a lot of uncertainty right now, and that's leading me to this pick, which I'll break down a little before I get to it. Right now, I see there's 4 contenders in the lightweight division for the title who could fight. Realistically, if the UFC needs someone to fight Ilya right now, I think you pick one of these 4 guys: Arman Tsarukyan, Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway, Paddy Pimblett. I like Paddy and Gaethje. I think that makes perfect sense. So you look at Arman Tsarukyan, but does BMF scream Arman Tsarukyan? I don't really know if it does. I think, you know who does scream BMF? Ilya Topuria. Let's get a rematch. That's who I'm putting for Max Holloway. A rematch against Ilya Topuria. I know it's the unpopular pick. I know everyone's saying Charles Oliveira, and I believe that is
a singular tear came to my eye.
A thug tear? You had a thug tear?
I can't see this happen to Max again, man.
But I will also say, though, Max right now is on a 2-fight win streak at lightweight, and I personally believe that right now at lightweight, this is the best Max Holloway we have seen in his career. Like, just comparing him.
Yeah,
okay. That's what I'm saying. He's on a 2-fight win streak. He's beat Justin Gaethje, one of the contenders. So Gaethje's not getting a title shot over him right now. He needs to prove a little bit more. He's beat Dustin Poirier, one of the greatest lightweights to ever do it. I don't think Oliveira. I personally, here's another hot take. I think right now where he is at, I don't get the love for Oliveira right now. I understand he's a fan favorite. I understand.
And that might be a party foul, Sam.
Another tear. Oh my God, the tears of my eyes.
You're about to make Srikar full blown cry.
Oh no.
But no, I think Oliveira, like I have not been impressed by Oliveira for his last 3 fights. The last time I was impressed by an Oliveira fight was against Beneil Dariush.
The Chandler fight wasn't impressive.
He could have done more. I think against Chandler, like it was a good win. I think he could have done more. And I also just don't want to see Oliveira be like another. I don't want to see another Oliveira title eliminator right now. Like he lost to Arman. He beat Chandler, and that got him a title shot. I didn't really think it was that deserving of a title shot necessarily. It's just because Islam Makhachev left the division. And I think the 4 guys are just way more deserving right now. And I think you can kind of, once there's bookings on the table, I think you can filter it out. But if you had a book right now, this is why I think Max Holloway for Ilia Topuria for the lightweight title and the BMF belt. I think we can have a further discussion about what to do with the BMF belt after that. But I think this makes a lot of sense. I don't really. We should do a midweek pod about the BMF belt a little bit and just talk about like what's the state of it, because I personally am a little lost with what to do with it, because none of the guys that Max can fight up. I mean, Charles Oliveira, yes, that's a great fight for BMF, but at the end of the day, the title picture is more relevant than the BMF belt. I think something needs to change with it to make its own thing, and you're not forcing fights where I don't think Charles Oliveira is deserving of a Max Holloway fight just now. I think he needs to prove it a little bit more to get it for where he's at. So that's my take. I think Holloway, if you had to book right now, Holloway to Poirier, that's the short answer. The long answer is there's so many question marks in the lightweight division. I think once those get answered, I think we're going to have a much more clear picture. Maybe the co-main there's been rumblings that the co-main for 319 could be Patty and Justin. I know they denied it at first, but that was a few weeks ago. Now it's confirmed there is a co-main at some point. So if that gets confirmed, man, it'll depend, because if that gets confirmed, then the winner of that fight's Ilia Topuria. But with nothing booked, you never know.
It's interesting. It's interesting that you say there are a lot of questions within the lightweight division, because I think, well, first off, I spoke too soon. Like, I think Max and Charles is your surest answer of.
I was going to say that's like the only fight I see.
Like, that is the one fight that you should be booking like immediately. Like, obviously, like, I think Charles Oliveira, because the one kind of qualification for BMF is you got to be a vet. Like, you had to have gone through like wars, and also you got to be fan favorites. Like, I hate saying that. Like, I hate throwing that out, but like,
Ilia Topuria's done that.
I wouldn't say Ilia.
If we're being honest, Ilia Topuria should have won the BMF belt when he knocked out Max.
Yeah, but you know, it wasn't on the line. That I think Max said it in it. Max said in his post-fight press conference, but he was like, "Oh yeah, did Islam like go around with 2 belts when he knocked out?"
I also do like how Ilia Topuria is taunting Max Holloway. Was like, "I'm the BMF." Max is like, "No, I actually have the belt. Make it happen. Make it happen." I think that's fun. I think that's great for the sport. First time with 2 belts on the line. Are you kidding me? I think it's a great opportunity. I can't
justify the Max rematch yet. I just can't. Like, I think Holloway Oliveira it'll be a rematch as well. Like, that is a rematch for the BMF belt. And I think timing wise, it's perfect. Like, this is a fan favorite fight. Like, everyone is going to tune in for it. But also, whoever wins, you get your shot against Ilia. Like, I think you need one more. It's too early for Max to go straight back to Ilia again. Like,
can I interrupt? Because what makes you say Max can go back to Ilia after one fight when you're saying the same thing that Charles, if he wins one fight, can go back to Ilia Topuria?
Because Charles is not so far down in the rankings that you think he is.
Max
Charles Oliveira's name will get him closer to a title shot, especially if he beats Max Holloway. Bro, if Charles Oliveira beats Max Holloway, that is a mandate. That is a mandate. Like, he has a big name. Everyone loves Charles Oliveira. Like, they're going to make it happen.
When I think of like BMF and think of someone who like could hold the BMF title, obviously Ilia Topuria. I 100% think.
Yeah, I think that is the BMF of the lightweight division.
He could be, but when I also think of BMF, I think of Charles Oliveira, because that guy is crazy,
and he's fought against the best of the best. Like, he's done this, you know, like this is why Michael Johnson wants to get it, because Michael Johnson has fought the best of the best, and he's beat some of them. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain criteria you got to meet to be in a BMF title fight, and I think Charles Oliveira, by all accounts, he fits the bill. Like Charles Oliveira is
agree with
a
that.
BMF.
I will say I do think Charles Oliveira fits the bill. I'm just like I'm not seeing the logic of giving him one fight and back to the title picture. I think he needs a few more. And I also think that
define a few. Like this is Charles Oliveira.
Two. And I
two
will also
after Max or two
Okay,
including
I
Max?
will.
Well,
Guys,
okay, so
also,
let's say
can I? No. Sorry, let me talk.
No,
real
you're
quick.
good. You got it.
A lot of this is because the lightweight picture is just so uncertain right now.
So add a certainty. Make something certain.
Sorry. Let me talk. Let me finish this. There's nobody booked right now. I think once we get the first booking, whether it be Patty Gaethje, whether we get Arman and Ilya, or Arman and someone else, there's going to be a lot, and then it's going to be okay. This is who's next for the title. After that, they're going to fight. They're going to be booked for Ilya Topuria. Then there's some other fights coming up. By the time those other fights come up, Islam Makhachev could be back at lightweight too. There's a lot of figuring out to go right now. So it's so uncertain at this point. I don't think you can say, because right now, there are like 4 people. And I guess if you want to include Charles Oliveira, 5 people that are, quote, one fight away from the title. I think out of all those 5 people, Charles Oliveira is the least deserving because all 4 of the others have proven that they've been winning a lot recently. And that's what you need. If you want to be a title contender, you should be winning a lot. I don't think it's fair for Charles Oliveira to jump these guys who've been winning a lot.
I'm just like, you're right. I am confused with the whole picture thing because it really doesn't make sense how.
And we'll get answers soon too.
I'll agree with you on that. I don't know. Personally, I'm just blinded by the fact that you literally have the guy who has the BMF title versus someone who like has proven he's like the unofficial BMF. I don't know. It's just so.
I would say
also like a fight between Max and Charles just excites me, bro. Like Max and Charles is such a fire fight. Like
if he beats Max, I'm not saying give him like you don't have to give him the title shot again. Like what I don't know what the hell Arman's doing right now. We have no idea. I'd like to see a rematch of him and Oliveira.
I like that too. I like that a lot
also, too. Also, a lot of people thought that was a robbery. So that I think that would be really interesting. But you know what? I want to see Max versus Oliveira so bad because there's a really weird trend going on right now that if you get knocked out by Ilya Topuria, you win your next fight. Max just did it against Dustin. Charles just got flatlined by Ilya.
Just saying, that's interesting. I will. Yeah.
But I did see that, and I was like, yo, that's so weird because Volk did the same thing. Volk beat Diego after getting flatlined. Mm-hmm. It's kind of crazy.
So
did Jai Herbert win his last fight after getting knocked out by Ilya Topuria? If he did,
He probably did.
If he did, this is real.
Yeah. So I also will say, I think I'll share right now who I have with this uncertain.
Oh my God. He literally won his next fight after getting knocked out by Ilya. This is crazy.
This is crazy.
Sorry. All right, go, Sam. I'm going to go down the line.
I will say just for the viewer to know who I think Charles Oliveira should fight next. With just again, so much uncertainty in this division. I hope we'll get answers soon. I think Fiziev and Gamrot should fight, and I think the winner of that should fight Charles Oliveira. So I'm looking a little further down for Oliveira. I do think he needs to fight down. I think Holloway does fit the picture. Realistically, Holloway fits the picture. And if they make Patty Gaethje, then put Holloway and Oliveira immediately, because then that's your
bro. Wait, can I just cut you guys off for a second?
Go ahead.
Yeah, what's up?
Every single person Poirier has knocked out in the UFC has won their next fight.
That's a crazy
Damon Jackson knocked out, won his next fight. Ryan Hall knocked out, won his next fight. Jai Herbert got knocked out, won his next fight. And the last 3 people that have gotten knocked out by regardless of not Oliveira, but Volk and Holloway both got knocked out by Topuria and won their next fight. That is insane.
That's nuts.
I'm not gonna lie though.
That's crazy.
This is gonna be my last point on this.
Yeah,
we would have been in dire straits if Poirier won. We would have been cooked.
Well, that
lightweight picture would have been like ridiculously bad at that point in terms of how cluttered it would be.
Well, then you have a clear title eliminator in Patty Gaethje or Arman just.
Well, you had that anyway.
Well, I don't know.
We had that going
you guys are saying the new title eliminators, Max and Charles.
No,
Man.
I don't think that's a title eliminator.
I don't know if it's a title eliminator. I just think they should fight for the BMF belt.
I'm going to be honest. I think,
and then whoever wins is one step closer to Ilya.
It's way too.
If that's
soon
the way
to be
you're putting it, then I would agree with it.
Yeah.
It's too soon to be recycling opponents for Ilya. Like, I want to see him fight Arman. I want to see him fight Islam. I don't want to see a Max rematch of Oliveira rematch of Volk rematch. Like, maybe not yet. Volk is a different story. He's in a different division. But it's way too soon to be recycling.
Both Max and Charles, like, just as I hate to use this John Jones rhetoric, but they deserve to be in fun fights. You know, they deserve to be in fun fights. I think they've both earned it by this point. Yeah. So I think this is a fun fight for the both of them. Like,
totally.
Obviously, Oliveira is at risk of getting slumped again, and Max is, at risk of getting committed.
Like Poirier, he could fight Gaethje, he could fight Patty, he could fight Arman and Islam. I think those four, like, yes, they'll get closer. Not a guaranteed shot.
For sure. But UFC 318, definitely a fun one, full of finishes. Very exciting fights, as you could tell. We were into this one. Obviously, big send off for the legend, the Diamond, Dustin Poirier. Let us know in the comments what you thought about the event as a whole, what you thought of what the UFC did for Dustin Poirier in his final fight. We'll hopefully come back with a midweek. Maybe we can break down this BMF picture a little bit more. But for now, for Chris Shroyer, for Sam Corcoran, I'm Srikar Rajendran saying so long, and we'll see you next time on Inside the War Room.